same thing. You have to do all these things. You have to work together. And
Tim Cass goes nuclear on your boy today, man. He calls him out, man. You know, like for the fake news that they've been pumping and stuff like that. Well, let's see what's going on, Ryan.
you're right at your core of saying democracy, but you need civil rights protection. Civil rights doesn't mean for racial minorities. It means for all of us, for people who are left wing, right wing, etc. Because if you have a left wing government or a Democratic government, and all of a sudden they go, you know what, we decided democracy is no good. We're just canceling the elections. We're terminating the Constitution. We thought there was massive fraud or whatever we thought, right? And so now you guys are permanent.
I love how the left conveniently changes their position, their political position, and based off of whether they winning or not.
Minority, but don't worry, you'll be fine. No, that's not acceptable. It's not.
Yeah, we going down the rabbit hole tonight, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Double check the screen.
Stick with this system. But again, I'm not as worried about it today because Trump won the popular vote. I was very worried about it when
He won, but y'all keep acting like he lost. That's why we still having these conversations.
the Republicans kept losing the popular vote and they started talking against democracy. And so that was awfully convenient as you guys lose national vote after national vote after national vote. You go, maybe we don't do democracy. No. Don't mess around with that. Now he won the popular vote. Great, then he won it. No problem.
Here's the crazy thing. And I do want to jump to this next segment, but no conservative calls me conservative.
Mm-hmm.
Far left calls me a conservative.
Mm-hmm.
My politics align with I supported Andrew Yang.
Watch how Tim Cass calls him out, though.
And I supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. In 2020, I thought he was too old, but I generally liked him to a certain degree. And I met a lot of people in 2015 and 16 who were Bernie supporters who, when he got knocked
This
out,
just went off. I mean, well, it's still live right now. It's about to go off.
flipped for Trump because of border policy and workers' rights policy. So it's crazy now that we're at this point. And that's what I was saying earlier about how the Democrat recovers. If I'm the person who in 2020 was saying, please save the Democratic Party because I'm not a Republican, I don't agree with them on a lot of things. But now, here I am, here's Joe Rogan, here's RFK Jr., here's Tulsi Gabbard, here's Colin Wright, here's Elon Musk, all of these people who were Democrats, who were either a little bit progressive or just moderately liberal.
Y'all see what he cooking, right? He got him. This is the second time he got him on live, but he's going hardcore this time. Lansky, what up? Captain Obvious, salute.
Are now allowed the Republican Party.
Yeah, so a couple of interesting things in there. First of all, that's a wide range of people, and they all have different motives and different thoughts, etc. So RFK Jr. was definitely a Democrat, and would have stayed a Democrat if the Democratic Party didn't push him, right? Tulsi, I think, was always going to go right wing. So, yeah, that's a long story. I don't want to get back into Tulsi, but we called her out as going to go right wing a year before she did it. And we got a lot of pushback from the left. And they're like, oh, you're crazy. She's not going to do that. But we backed it up with, here's why we think that, right? She went to go talk to Steve Bannon and Trump after they won in 2016. She's been trying to get, first she tried to get in with the establishment Democrats.
Oh, their hatred is so deep. I love how they try to conveniently move the goalposts, but watch how he calls them out on this shit.
Didn't work. Then she went to progressives and tried to get in, and there that was working a little bit. But then she ran against Bernie, etc. And we're like, okay, there's nothing wrong with running against Bernie. But all of a sudden, she loves the drone strikes, even though she claims she's anti-war. She showed support for torture back in the day when,
like Abu Ghraib and all that.
yeah.
Oh.
So,
He stays trying to sneak it in.
I don't like torture, but it might be necessary. No, torture. The minute you say it might be necessary, that means you're pro-torture.
Well, let's not go too much into it.
Yeah, I get you. My point, and that's why I didn't want to get too deep in the details. In your case, Tim, look, you were more on the left, you know that, right? And so you have, and your positions that are more prominent, that people hear more about, are more right-wing. Okay. So some of the culture war issues that, that I don't want either side playing culture wars, etc. And some of the things that we've done on the show.
This shit is viral. I'm gonna tell you why it's viral. Because you ain't never see this dude back down. You never seen him one time back down. He's looking soft as shit.
I don't know every single thing, but on guns and Kyle Rittenhouse and racial issues, etc. Right?
But I agree with that expanding coverage.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know if you guys exactly agree or not, but I don't agree with that on that. So, what's that?
Yeah. Nah, you might not get it, but they jump in them. I like it.
I don't want to
So, but Tim.
But that's not a political position. That's a fact question of what happened.
Me either, Captain Obvious.
Saying what you're saying, Tim, but like almost every time you're in the news, it's for a right-wing position. But that's it. But listen, let me finish the point. But I hear you, and you just said, for example, you're pro-choice, and what I'm.
Hey, Lansky, you know the only reason that he got him here is just to call him out. You know what I'm saying? And threaten him with a lawsuit. This is all what this is about. This is friendly banter, but trust me, you never seen him this humble.
Heading to is, it's the left-right thing is not really working anymore, right? Because your positions, yes.
You see that? The left-right wing thing is not working. We need to be together. Now it's this so-called bipartisan thing. No, it's because we took all the whole positioning of America. We took the House. We took everything. You know what I mean? And now it's like, okay, you think that there's going to be a witch hunt for you, so you just want to tighten up. Now it's this kumbaya. When really it's like slapping somebody, you know, like a backhanded compliment, like telling them, say, oh yeah, that looks so nice. And you really mean that it looks shitty.
Or sometimes, although in a lot of instances, left, middle, right, etc. Now, and you know,
Man, they so weak, they just can't take the L.
our position on crime, I don't know if it's left or right anymore, right? What is like, I'm against crime, but I want police reform. Is that, I think that's left, but some portions of the left say, no, that's not left. You know, you have to be like, pretend crime doesn't exist. I'm like, wait, how is that a left-wing position? That's not really a left-wing position. So my point is, you're right.
This be the beginning stages of somebody red pilling. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Some of it is just fake and they scared of the witch hunt that's gonna come with all the stuff they said about Trump and stuff like that, right? But, you know, a lot of this is the beginnings of some red pill shit. This is when they start switching over.
I'm jumbled.
This is how Eric Adams started.
And that's why I talk about it.
It's liars. That's everything. So I'll give you an example. My Wikipedia says that I denied COVID, got COVID, and then sought ivermectin. None of which is true. Never denied COVID, never sought ivermectin. I got monoclonal antibodies. But Gizmodo fabricated the whole thing.
They called me about that.
Wow.
They called you about me getting ivermectin?
No, they called me about getting COVID from Tim Pool.
Well, so anyway, my point is, I'll give you a really good example. When the Burisma scandal happens, Matt Taibbi, he was a liberal guy, he wrote for the Rolling Stone, writes this long
He's acting clueless. But trust me,
about Victor
Elon Musk is not going to act clueless.
The prosecutor in Ukraine had 12 to 14 open investigations into the CEO of Burisma, Michael Olszewski. And then I come out, make a video and go, whoa, Matt Taibbi has got these documents. Victor Shokin signed a sworn affidavit that he was fired because of Joe Biden coming in and making these threats. That's not a right-wing position. So,
Yeah, I don't think that is either.
but that's.
Oh no, he's about to checkmate him. He's about to checkmate him. He's about to punch all over this guy.
If I come out and say anything policy-wise, like I'll say, oh, I'm for a form of universal basic healthcare where I think if you got a broken bone or the flu, you should be able to be treated. I think there should be some kind of welfare system that covers this.
Now, what he's doing right now, I want y'all to understand. There's 60,000 people in this chat, right? What he's doing is clearing up the lies that was said about him, and he's going to use proof.
No, Tim Pool's right, man. We had Matt Binder on the show, and I'm pro-choice and being like, I think there's a certain time period, like women, I'm not a fan of abortion. He called me pro-life. And so whenever I'm in the news or something right-wing, it's probably because Sam Cedar fabricated a clip.
Facts.
And then people played it up.
So I hear you, Tim. I've been lied about so many times that I greatly empathize with that.
Bro, come on.
So, but overall, we're agreeing on the major point, which is things don't fit left and right as much as they used to. Back in the day, and then here's another reason.
Lansky, you see, he's trying to slip it in there again. He's trying to make that the agenda.
Optimism that I have. Back in the day, when I talked to a Republican,
Let's kumbaya. Nah, let's deal with the issues of this slander.
I was never going to get agreement on anything, and I was never going to get a real conversation. I was going to get talking points, and probably you guys feel the same way about Democrats, right? Talking point. And that's why, like, for a long time, we had no politicians on the show, right? Because I'm like, what's the point? I know what you're going to say. I can tell you what you're going to say before you say it, right? So,
I'm about to play y'all some crazy clips in my other room in a second after we look at this of these liberals like really, really losing their minds.
so this is super boring and uninteresting. And so I'm like talking to the right wing, and I'm just talking to a bunch of robots. I don't want to do that. But now it's not robots anymore. So now we've got real people going, okay, I love Trump, And I think that they're a little,
Wow, did that just come out of his mouth?
too enamored with Trump, right? But I got you. But like, do they genuinely believe in freedom? I think they do. I hope they do. And I think a lot of them do. Are a lot of them anti-war? Well, we're going to find out, right? But I think they are. And so this is the argument that I'm having with the left. They say, no, give no quarter, go maximalist response, etc. A lot of people say that, right? And I'm saying, well, let's find out first, okay? So I know what Trump did in the past. That's why I voted against him. I know what Kash Patel has said and Hezbollah has said and stuff. And that's why I'm against him. Now, having said that, it's a new day. He actually genuinely won this election. So number one, we're not going to get what we want on immigration because the election was partly about immigration and we lost, okay? So if you didn't want that, then you should have picked a great candidate and you should have won, okay? But number two, if Trump goes out of bounds, I believe that some of the right-wing populists will be a check on it.
We just saw it with his nomination for DEA. So this is a guy, I forgot his name. Do you remember his name? There's a Chris something.
DEA, the
Oh, yeah.
Florida sheriff. Yeah,
So
he resigned
He
today.
resigned his nomination.
Yeah.
Trump nominated him for the head of DEA, and the MAGA base and some who aren't necessarily MAGA
He was
said
a COVID enforcer.
he arrested a pastor. This is a pastor who apparently spent like $100,000 to refit his whole church so that it was compliant with all the regulations. And then this guy still arrested him and then held a press conference saying, "We've shut this guy
He
down."
posted about it on, what was that, Twitter? He was very
Right.
excited about it. And then he was doing a
Major.
vaccine. He wasn't doing it.
But my point is, whether you agree or disagree, the point is Trump's base, major backlash, and this guy's been forced to resign.
Yeah, I think that's super positive, even though I don't agree with Trump's base on that particular issue. And I'm not saying about the pastor. You guys might be right about the pastor, right? But like on COVID, I'm on the left, right? And so we can get into the details of that. But the bottom line is, I don't care what the issue is. I care that they held him accountable. But what is so? Well, hold on, let me just finish that thought. So if they hold him accountable on the DEA guy, what I'm hoping is that they're going to hold him accountable on some of the other picks if it goes wrong, right? So we might disagree here, but like I think there's Team Israel, which is Marco Rubio, Lee Stefanik, Mike Huckabee, and Mike Walls. They're done to satiate Miriam Adelson and gave him $137 million. So now Trump says, let's give the Palestinians even more help. Okay, fine. So far, the right wing's not really going to object because they don't really care about the Palestinians. Okay, sorry if that offends you, but that's just reality. Okay, but if Trump goes, okay, I am now helping Israel to invade Iran. Okay, and we're going to go bomb them, and we're going to pay for it, and you guys are going to be on the hook for $2 trillion, etc. Then I'm super curious. Is the MAGA base going to go? No, we were anti-war.
He'd lose him. I think there'd be like 30% who would be like, "We trust you, Trump." Everybody else is going to be losing their minds.
I hope so. And that's what I'm beginning to believe. And that's why I'm now a heretic on the left. I possibly think the right-wing populists are not evil.
Well, I mean,
And I'm saying I don't think they're evil. I think that we might massively disagree on some issues, as you're seeing here, right? But I think that these guys actually mean anti-war and they mean anti-corruption. Yeah, I think Trump is corrupt, but the Democratic Party is corrupt, the Republican Party is corrupt. So look, let's let him do some things and then let's react, right?
So what is you said you're on COVID, you're on the left. Like, how would you describe that?
So look, did I take everything they said as fact and from God and something? No, right? For example, they're like, no, it didn't come from the Wuhan lab. This virus broke out right next to one of the biggest virus labs in the world, but we think it was from an armadillo or whatever they thought it was, right? And I was like, maybe,
Yeah.
right? But no, it was a
Penguin.
bad.
It was a penguin.
Geez.
No, no, it was a
bad penguin.
No, wait a minute. Yeah.
For a second, they were talking about penguins, and they were also talking about bats that were like 100 miles away and some.
Yeah. So I was like, look, guys, that seems less likely. It seems more likely that it came from the virus lab. On the other hand, probably the core disagreement we'll have is, so everything's attacked for that? What's that? Did you get attacked for saying that? No, not really, because that one was like so, like, it wasn't a big enough issue, and it was so silly.
When
Like,
did you say that? Well, I'm going to.
oh yeah, I said it right when they said it, like throughout. I was
It
like,
made perfect
Right.
sense.
So what this is the main point of difference we have.
so it's a society, especially in democracy with civil rights, etc., is a balancing act between the individual and the community. Sometimes the community wants something, but that hurts the individual rights. And sometimes you protect individual rights, but that hurts the community, right? So how do you balance those? And a virus is a great example of how difficult it is to balance those. So, for example, if you had a virus, unlike COVID, that if upon contact, like you catch it in the air at all, you're dead, right? You're instantly dead. Well, could we then say, no, everybody's got to stay home?
Like an Ebola type of thing? Like an
Ebola, but even worse, right?
Yeah.
Just to make it an extreme hypothetical, right? So I say, no, then we support the community and we say, yeah, you got to stay home. And yes, I am taking away your individual rights in that particular case. Now, then you have a range of viruses. Like, so for smallpox was devastating, not only in America, but the U.S. troops during the Revolutionary War. And Washington said, we're going to give you guys all, this thing that's basically a vaccine, right? But we know it's going to kill a lot of you because back then the vaccines were horrible. And it killed a third of his army, but it saved the rest of the army and it saved the war. And that's why America exists now. You can go back and say, I can't believe he took away their individual freedom. I can't believe not only did he kick them out, he didn't kick them out of the army, but he killed them in a sense, right? But overall, it was the right decision. So that's why it's not easy. And so in the case of COVID, in the beginning, it seemed so viral that, yeah, I agree with you. You should wear masks outside and you want to contain the number of people in a house. Yeah. Now, at some point, it got absurd, right? Yeah. And when it got absurd, I said, all right, guys, we're done with this. What are we doing? The kids got to go back to school, et cetera. Now, looking back at it in hindsight, there are probably a couple of things I would have done differently. But you see what I'm saying by being on the left means, in that case, I wanted to protect the community more.
Well, we don't disagree with that. I don't think that's a left-right thing. Trump was the one who came out and said 2 weeks to slow the spread and initiated the push for lockdowns in the first place. I think the issue was when BLM was protesting and rioting during COVID, the media and prominent personalities were like, this actually slowed the spread. I think.
Well, and you also had a whole bunch of doctors come out and sign a letter saying that racism was a bigger health threat than COVID.
And then
you also had Andrew Cuomo saying, if you're going out to protest for BLM, then that's okay, but otherwise you need to stay home. And then you had 10,000 people out front of the Brooklyn Museum, protesting for Black trans lives, and the rest of us were.
Facts. Double tap the screen. Can we get the lights up, please? You're on the Mac Mean True Story Show. All stories ain't true, but this one is.
To stay home because we weren't doing that.
Let me do this. Let me jump to this segment. I want to pull this story up from Neiman Lab. Heavens me, this is one of the greatest headlines I've ever seen. For those that don't know, Neiman Lab is a journalism college university institution, and they report and cover how things go in media. So if you're in journalism school or you work in media, you know all about them. Here's their headline: tuning out TV news might be behind the decline in media trust.
Don't you notice that a lot of these people on the left, right? They're now all of a sudden, we're friends with the Republicans, and we agree with all the speaking points that they didn't agree with overnight. They became like the nicest mean motherfuckers you ever met. Now I'm going to show you some examples of the lefties really losing it. You don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Democrats that went out their fucking mind.
No, really? Okay, here's the first paragraph. A new wide-ranging study finds that trust.
Become a member of the channel, man. We about to go hot.
News has fallen further in countries where television news use has declined, as well as in countries where more people are turning to social media for news. So let me just scream.
Now he's setting up his point right now.
They are saying, wow, in the places where people don't watch TV news, trust has declined. That must mean not watching TV news makes you not trust them. Perhaps they could look back, think for 2 seconds, and realize people have dumped TV news because they're lying.
That makes more sense.
Holy crap.
This is like something that my son was telling me about, where he was saying that the children of atheists have higher reading levels. And I was like, that's because atheists are mostly intellectuals who went to college. Like, that's why. It's not about the religion.
What I see here is we all watched a media uncritically just say, oh, Joe's not going to pardon his son. There's that viral video, 9 minutes of them saying, but he said he wouldn't do it. And then when he does, they're like, I never saw that coming.
We kept reporting at the Post Millennial, we kept saying, Karine Jean-Pierre said that Biden would not pardon his son. Biden said Biden will not pardon his son. John Kirby, whoever said it, Biden will not pardon his son. And people were like, why, we covered this already. I'm like, no, we have to keep covering it because they are lying. And that's gonna come out, and we need the record of these lies. And of course, no one was surprised when Hunter Biden was pardoned.
Yeah,
The people who
Be
were
surprised.
surprised, like, where have you guys been? Like, obviously, this was going to happen. And then NBC reported that they were considering it back in June after the first conviction of the gun charges. And of course they were, you guys, of course.
But this is for everybody. Do you get the sense that the rank and file Democrat, do you think that they were surprised? Because I feel like
I kind of agree with Senk on this, though, check on this, because he's saying that, that the unity is the main thing, that they have to go along, so I don't even think that they know whether or not they feel that they were deceived.
They were surprised because they're marching in lockstep with the approved line, and then overnight change without them knowing.
But they keep going along with the approved line, whatever it is. They're like, oh, we're going this way. Now we're going this way. Now our hair is blue. Now we're screaming. Now we're not.
can't get lectured. I was like,
Yeah, so this is the part that I agree with you guys most on. So first off, I totally agree with your interpretation of this, article. And this is the kind of stuff that basically Noam Chomsky warned about decades ago. And so I had Noam on the show a couple of times, and I asked him one time, I said, so where do you get your news? You know the New York Times
He's full of shit.
and CNN and all these things, skew the news, they manufacture consent, et cetera, right? You're the guy who originally wrote about it. So he says, what I do is I read the New York Times or Washington Post just for the facts, and I ignore all other words, sentences, et cetera, because that's their BS interpretation. So this is a good example. So, TV viewing has gone down. That's a fact. No problem, right? Trust in media has gone down. That's a fact. No problem, right? And then they say that's because people aren't watching TV, and that's why, and they hate online media. No, that's not a fact. You made that part up, okay? I could take those two facts, and as Tim said, I could interpret that correctly as, yeah, they decline in trust in media. That's why they stopped watching TV. It's super obvious. That's a better explanation. And the fact that they write it as if they're writing an objective piece, right, with the exact opposite interpretation is what is maddening. So that's what I mean by the establishment prison. They all have certain, talking points and a certain group thing, and they're going to shove that down your throat. And unfortunately these days, and what I'm greatly frustrated by the Democratic Party, and that's why I want to reform it, is that yes, it's more true of Democrats these days, and that is why they get confused on the pardon, right? Because to answer your question, guys, they really believe everything Joe Biden says. So when Joe Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son, the mainstream.
You know what? I haven't done a video like this in a while, like just facing the camera towards my TV. So I might have set this video wrong. I don't know if it's kind of messed up on your side, but from my angle, it looks real blurry. L'Oreal, peace, Queen. Salute. Who else up in here? Captain Obvious, salute. Mac Attack. Lance Skeezy, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Man.
Voters thought, no, that means that Joe Biden's the same. He never lies, right? Trump's a giant liar, but all of the Republicans are liars, Mitch McConnell's liar, et cetera. But Pelosi and Biden have never told a lie. They're angels, right? I mean, I got yelled at on NPR because I said, look, Mitch McConnell takes $1 billion.
Man, he's a bitch.
And serves as donors, right? And everybody's like, generally, yeah, right. And Nancy Pelosi takes $1 billion and serves her donors. Right? Like, how dare you? Right? And the listeners are irate, the host is irate, etc. Right? Blasphemy. So when Joe Biden says he's not going to pardon, they genuinely believed it. And so they're shocked. And what I've been saying all along is, guys, establishment politicians are all liars, like through and through. Because the central lie of both the
Wow, I can't believe the shit that's coming out of his face today, man. You would, I mean, a complete a whole change with these liberals, man. They all seem like they changing, but at the same time, they're kissing ass, and
politicians and the establishment media is.
It just seems kind of weird. I'm so used to hearing them talk down.
The donors are not in charge.
Well,
I mean, but he's in a room full of lions, so you gotta.
The donors have nothing to do with anything. There is no establishment. I was on Piers Morgan, and this is a really interesting story, right? And a sample.
Deflection at its finest. Watch.
Dan Crenshaw, who's more establishment as a politician, right? Dan Crenshaw, I said this
all over the place, Hazel. All over the place. He can't keep it together. I'm telling you, it's like he's bowing down. He might as well just get under the table and lick the balls, for real, for real.
Exact same thing. And he goes, oh, that's ridiculous.
And it get worse than this. I was in heaven watching this shit. There are 60,000 people when I was looking.
There is no establishment. Okay? And we don't do what our donors tell us. And I was like, hold on. Vinny, what do you think? Vinny from Patrick Ben Davis show, right? Right wing.
We don't do what our donors, our sponsors tell us. Yes, you do. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. And what's so crazy is they try to put it on Timcast.
He's like, of course it's an
Like basically they were saying that his sponsorship money, you know what I'm saying, was like somehow tied into Russia and that they're able to move him by way of opinion. Now he's gonna show them, he's gonna show Senk that yo, bro, I'm 100% owner of this show. I don't need to fuck with nobody. I'm getting money off this. So he's like, yo, so you telling me you're getting $100,000 off of a video? Come on, man. It's like, oh man, this dude's in a different world. $100,000 off of a video ain't shit, man. Ain't shit. That means that somehow you're not monetized the right way. Watch Tim's response to him when he starts telling him this shit though.
And of course you guys do what your donors tell you to do, right? See, there is a realignment. Populist agreeing and then against the establishment.
I'm trying to have a little bit of nuance here because I feel like you use the establishment as a catch-all when there are multiple different interests at play and they're often against one another. So, for example, we'll call
That shirt he got on is fire.
Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden.
It's a polo, by the way.
Built the establishment. But guess what? Nancy Pelosi was behind stabbing Joe Biden in the back. I'm kind of asking this because for all your political opponents, it seems all of them are only motivated by money all of the time. However,
He not rocking it right, but that shirt is fire.
for all the candidates you support, all of them are so pure-hearted. So isn't that simple where it's just like, no, if you are a Republican, it's you say Pelosi.
Double tap the screen or go to the, I don't know. I don't know if you go to the top right. Yeah, go to the top right. I think so. Just double tap the screen to get the lights up.
McConnell are both. No, not Pelosi. I'm saying Pelosi and Joe Biden. These are establishments of the same party. I'm just saying there's multiple. The establishment is too catch-all, and there are multiple different interests, powerful interests at play, and they're often antithetical to one another. So, there's big tech aliens, and they raise a ton of money. Elon Musk raised over $100
He's
million,
getting red.
but apparently it's only a bad reason.
I don't know why my orientation on my screen is looking the way it is today, but he's about to turn red. He looks pink right here, but he's about to dead ass turn red. But I'm telling you, man, I normally just go for the highlight points, but tonight I feel like just letting y'all see it straight through, man.
David, but when Simon Adelson gives $100 million to Donald Trump, it's a bigger deal, and we'll.
No, I think both are a big deal.
Okay, but it just seems like you seem to focus on that.
Tim Mellon gave even more. Tim Mellon gave $170 million. So
Is it about when you said, I want to talk about media, and so I want to
just answer him real quick on one thing. No, brother. So when Matt Gaetz and Josh Hawley stopped taking corporate PAC money, they then introduced anti-corruption bills and
Pay attention. He tried to sneak one in on Matt Gaetz again.
war bills, and I said, there you go. That's the difference, right? You stop taking corporate PAC money, and so I still have huge disagreements with Matt Gaetz and Hawley on other things. But at least they got honest on that front, right? That puts them in the populist camp rather than the establishment camp. And so if there's a delineation, the best delineation is probably corporate PAC money. And so in terms of Pelosi
I'm not gonna lie, they got this guy cornered.
and Biden, that is a super rare thing. That's
Rusty, what up?
why everybody was shocked. Because especially on the, well, it used to be on both sides, but Trump changed the Republican side. But so on the Democratic side, the establishment never turns on one another. Never. So when Pelosi did it to Biden, it was shocking. I couldn't believe it, right? Because here we are, me and a couple other people saying what Biden is not young, this is terrible, etc.
AOC.
But we're not going to win that fight. We need to push until someone like Pelosi and behind the scenes Obama said, yeah, no, he's too old.
I think there's more info behind the establishment. It's tough. Talking about media, because one of the things I want to ask you is,
Here we go.
we can see the established media, they're lying on all these things, but I've got some issues with things that you guys have reported in the
Here we go.
past protecting the media. And I think there's liars on the right in the independent media space. There are people, there was one video where, this is a couple of months ago, I noticed that we were featured on the front page of YouTube, the default, not signed in or whatever. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I noticed that our viewership jumped, so I checked with a incognito window. I also noticed a different video where someone took two clips of you and me, totally different videos. You on your show talking about something unrelated to me on my show talking about something unrelated to you, but edited
He took this shit personal.
to make it seem like we were debating. It had 40,000 views.
And it wasn't the fact that they took those two clips and made it seem like they was debating. It was the things that the people in the comments were saying. They was dogging Tim.
And I've never seen it before, probably because I don't really browse these kinds of videos. But the comments were people being like, oh, wow, you know, Jen got him. Oh, it's him, snap back. And I'm like, wow, they made a fake debate between us. And so certainly I think there's a lot of fake news going on around. But I was going to first ask about, you know, Anna Kasparian. She was saying that after she got assaulted by this homeless guy, she's not only was she called racist, but she saw these other progressive channels were making things up about her and lying about her. And I was like, wake up.
I would love to have to confront somebody that's been spreading fake news about me, man.
So my response was, yes, this is what
This was a checkmate. This is viral. Understand? This just went off. Tomorrow, there's going to be crazy headlines about this.
see from the larger left space. An example I have from you guys, and it's not the biggest news story in the world or anything, but just one example off the top of my head, is that there were 5 different studies that said conservatives are more attractive than liberals on average. And you guys did, I think, 3 different videos about me. And in it, in one with
Wow.
Villa Guaino, and Anna Guaino, they insulted me, called me ugly, said I was wrong, having nothing to do with news. This is what I get from progressive media when I was 100% dispassionate and correct. My point was, we had a study that came out as a story from like the Washington Post that said conservatives tend to be more attractive. And I said, this is why you'll tend to see conservatives being fiercely independent and meritocratic. Because people who are more attractive go through life, it's easier. Everybody wants to give them things. And then they say, hey, I lifted myself up on my bootstraps, why can't everybody else? Liberals who tend to be less attractive say it's hard to live without support groups and they band together. That's actually what multiple studies have found.
That's a hell of a fucking study. Seems accurate though. Sounds accurate. Liberals are real ugly in general.
Response I got from
I mean, physically, they just have real bad qualities. Like they don't really be attractive. They be ugly as fucking fat.
you guys was 3 different segments where I was called ugly, stupid, gross, crooked teeth, putting up ugly pictures of me. And so my question to you is why? And like, how is that any better for the press?
So there's 2 things there. So number one, look, Tim, we went through this last time I was on the show too. So, bro, I don't agree with your interpretation, and I think that it's kind of self-serving.
Oh, you gonna deflect like a motherfucker.
Hey, our side is more attractive, and I know that you think.
I'm not saying my side. It's not my side. I'm not a conservative.
Yeah, I know.
But I didn't make this up. There's just numerous studies.
No, I got you. Look, there's 8 different ways to frame an article. There's 8 different ways to frame a study. So you got to be careful about what the study said. So look, we disagree on that, but did we go too far in having laughs, etc. about
$1 billion? That can't be real. Chilling with love. What's up, baby girl?
attractive, etc. Yeah, we probably did. Okay, and so, but back then we were more in trench warfare.
You know what's happening right now? He's getting directly checked. And instead of manning up immediately, right, and saying, you know what, maybe I needed to fact check my shit. Maybe we was moving a little bit too fast because we was in a den. You know how I get with these Democrat, Republican conversations, man. People will get real nasty, especially family members. Instead of manning up, look at this roundabout way of trying to say, I'm sorry.
Right. And so back then, and the reason why
Back then.
a lot of the right wing has a completely skewed version of me is because people take clips usually out of context, or you're doing a big long segment, they'll take a 5-second clip, a 30-second clip, a 15-second clip, etc. And that's all the other side ever sees. So we see all of your
That pride.
whatever is the right-wing points of view, right? We don't see any of the left-wing stuff. We don't see any of the independent stuff because that didn't make the news, right? So for me, same thing for right-wing media. They will show you stuff that they think is outrageous, but they're not going to show you all the times that I said, oh, it's probably from the...
Well, if you're studying a person, you're not really leaving it up to the right. I mean, leaving it up to, mindless media to control your narrative. You are absolutely looking at his shit to find out dirt. That's it. It's not just jumping in front of you. You're looking for the shit.
Kindness to whatever, all those things. right? So that's why we started getting a crazy skewed view of all of us, of each other, right? So part of what Anna and I are doing now is we're trying to break down those walls, right? And so that's why I'm here. That's why I was here last time. That's why I'm going on Patrick Bet David again. That's why I'm going on Drinking Bros and and these are all over the place. Like Mike Friedman, what's his politics? Nobody even knows. Yeah, right? And I don't really care. I just care about the conversation. I went on Chris Williamson's show. I'm not sure what his politics are. Right?
It's weird how they don't understand. They don't care what somebody's politics is, but you exclusively go after Republicans. This is a known fact.
Yeah, and so I went on trigonometry. So what? Let's have a conversation. Because part of the reason why
I'm gonna keep it real. It's a safe position to say, well, I'm conservative. I mean, I use it. I always tell people I'm not a Republican. I'm more of a conservative, independent with conservative views. But when you're a big ass podcaster, you don't have those luxuries. You got to kind of like pick a side, man.
making fun of each other and insulting each other and doing all this stuff, it's because we were so separated. We stopped thinking of each other as fellow citizens.
No, we weren't separated. Y'all was just very nasty, and you still are.
Fellow Americans. And so for the left, I'm trying to break that down. And guys go, let's hear them out. Are they actually anti-war? Before you make up your mind, are they actually anti-corruption? Blah, 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 blah. I got you, brother. But let's look, the labor secretary. There's no reason not to like the labor secretary. The Teamsters helped to pick the labor secretary. So take the goddamn win. Take the win, right? So if they really want to cut the Pentagon, great. Are you kidding me? We've been dying to cut the Pentagon. Are you now going to say that you don't want to cut the Pentagon to spite Trump? That's crazy, right? So we're trying to break down the walls and have these conversations.
To that point, that's something that we actually have, or at least I have, and I've heard Tim mention as well, that we try to do or want to see
Oh, it's not over.
happen, because I believe that the craziness that has come from the left is from the extreme left and not from the normal kind of moderate left. And there was a time in the United States where people on the left or people that were left leaning and people that were right.
He's trying to put a Band-Aid on this shit.
They could, go to barbecues together and hang out together and do normal things that weren't political without trying to kill each other, without actually, hating each other. And I think that that kind of stuff starts by coming back to the fact that we're all Americans. We all want what's best for the country, or at least that's the common ground we should be able to find. And if you can talk to people that actually do want what's best for the country, what's best for the people of America, then you can actually start to have a more civil political discourse in the country. And something, again, I've talked about this a bunch of times, and it's something that's in my opinion necessary, because as much as everyone talks about the meme of civil war, I talked about we need an off-ramp, and the off-ramp is being able to talk to people without getting it at other people's throats, and that's something we need to talk about.
I think you being here is a major win.
Absolutely.
I respect and appreciate your response on, things. I'm sure I've got videos as well. Everybody does. I don't think I'm the same. But when we can have these conversations, we can pull up stories, we can discuss them. We can disagree on what they mean, like the Trump Constitution thing. You say, "Oh, you're crazy, you're wrong," but we're here, and that's massive. And I think that's going to. I'm really optimistic moving forward. I'm glad you are too.
So let me say a couple things about it. First, I was guilty of it, no question. I remember writing after 2020. I'm like, I don't want to know any Trump voters. I don't want to be associated with Trump voters. I got no interest in it. Okay, and so, but what I've seen is that first of all, the Trump base changed. I'm the only one on the left saying that, and I'm so curious to see if I'm right or wrong, because only time is going to tell. When Trump does something the base doesn't like it, is he tested, et cetera, right? But more importantly, when I started seeing exactly to your point about the Civil War, I not only did a big percentage of the right wing want to separate, like Marjorie Green was saying, but then in the polls I started seeing, wait a minute, a huge percentage of Democrats want to separate.
Anyway, let's see some left side lunacy. Let's go to the other side of the castle, the blood clot castle. All right.
Okay, so how's everybody's nerves about this election?
Y'all know who this is, right? This is big face Rosie O'Donnell. All right. Let's see what she got to say.
You know, let's say on a scale of 10 being can't think of anything else and may need some additional medication, I'm like at a 7. And I just think with all those people showing up for Kamala, I don't think it's as close as they're saying it is. I really don't. And I think that the dumpster, the hate rally manager, that guy, the orange dumpster fire.
Wow.
Gosh, poor Rosie is so filled with hate. She can't even say President Donald Trump's name. That seems unhealthy. But at least she didn't start crying like J-Lo.
I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional.
Sorry, y'all.
You know what? We should be emotional.
Oh,
We
shit.
should be upset. We should be scared and outraged. We should. Our pain matters. We matter. You matter.
Is she talking to P. Diddy's victims there? What was that
Why are you cokehead, bitch?
all about? Yes, interesting performance from J-Lo, Jenny from the block, Jennifer Lopez,
Her.
a woman known for her terrible pics from P. Diddy to Ben Affleck twice. Now she's lecturing Americans on who to vote for. No thanks, love. But I do have some good news for you. Perhaps there is a cure for Trump derangement syndrome. Be sure to tell the lefty in your life about Trump and all.
Rough day. Do you find yourself acting irrationally? Do you get mistaken as a hyena when you laugh? The word salads occur frequently. Introducing
Hold on.
frequently.
Life about Trump and all.
Rough day. Do you find yourself acting irrationally? Do you get mistaken as a hyena when you laugh? Or do word salads occur frequently? Now there's help. Introducing Trump and all. Trump and all is designed specifically for those suffering with Trump derangement syndrome. Don't allow TDS to control your life anymore.
Damn.
Trump and all is fast acting, delivering relief from the stress of campaign season. Side effects may include registering as a Republican or voting for Donald Trump. Consult with your doctor before
Damn, they wrecked now.
taking Trump and all.
Now to a man who needs a double dose of Trump and all. He's a man who proves that even a simpleton clown can be a billionaire. Here is Mark Cuban being a misogynist dolt.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just
Do you really want to be saying that to Tulsi Gabbard or, I don't know, Melania or Sarah Huckabee Sanders,
Wow.
who's now governor of Arkansas after being Donald Trump's White House press secretary? And she had this to say about the feral left's attacks against her.
President who empowered his team. And when the left was relentlessly attacking me, kicking my family out of a restaurant, parents spitting on our car at our children's school, MSNBC reporters called me not even human, vile, unfit to be a mother. It was President Trump who pulled me aside, looked me in the eye, and said, Sarah, you're smart, you're tough, you're beautiful, and they attack you because you're good at your job. Now get back to work.
You know what Americans need is not just desperately out of touch celebrities preaching to them, they also need painfully unfunny poms ranting about the election. Remember when late night TV shows were funny? Now they have the likes of John Oliver emoting wildly about Trump.
I know this hasn't been a very uplifting speech. If it helps at all, there's one final thing I'm going to be genuinely excited for on Tuesday, and that is if Donald Trump loses this election, he's basically finished. I know he was through hell before he left the stage, but when the dust settled, he had lost 2 elections in a row and would be campaigning as an 82-year-old next time. I think he'd be done. And doesn't that sound great?
Trump put him through hell. Oh gosh, what a beta loser. Talking about lefty losers, here is Mickey Rourke again proving that Mr. Mackey was right. Drugs are bad. Okay.
That, but I'm not going to go into it because I don't need another visit from the Secret Service.
God damn, he looks bad.
When did you have one before?
Oh, about 6 months.
That motherfucker like Lil Kim. That nigga Mickey Rourke look like Lil Kim.
I'm zero.
What?
Shit. Boy,
Take a wild guess.
Was it because of something he said about President Trump?
Yeah,
What did he say about him?
just the truth.
wow.
Which is what?
Read my mind.
Them motherfuckers is nasty.
What the hell was that? It did have me curious, so I went looking for why the Secret Service may consider that lunatic a threat. It's not because he told the truth about Trump as he claimed there. It's because he threatened to punch the president. This is Rourke during Trump's first term. Again, let this be a lesson to the kids out there. Stay away from drugs and bargain basement plastic surgeons.
Make people in the White House that lying sucker. That you're no good.
This motherfucker like a Walking Dead pocketbook.
Two-faced piece. You know, he said some really nasty things about the two of us. And you know what? It's personal.
Cloud chasing that 70.
It's personal. There's going to be a day when he ain't president. And we're going to bump into each other. And you're going to feel me.
Terrible actor, too. Remember him in that movie with Tupac? I think it was called Ricochet or something.
You gonna give him a lap up?
What do you think? I think you might. I left it from house.
Oh dear, yeah, that
Motherfucker like an old rug.
dude has been losing it for many years, as has this next white dude for Kamala, MSNBC hysteric Joe Scarborough, who's just abusing Trump supporters in this next clip, just spewing abuse. He talks about the millions of folks who have attended
I wonder who those white boys is for now.
the Trump rallies over the years like they're garbage.
Who raised these people?
Yeah.
Because they were not raised by anybody in my neighborhoods that I grew up, any middle-class neighborhoods that I grew up in. These people were not there. They were not raised. I mean, they weren't in the classes
Al Sharpton looking like a wet old woman.
I went to growing up in elementary or middle or high school or college. They just weren't there. That wasn't the America I grew up in.
Every time I see that piece of shit face, I think about Tawana Brawley and back in the days when Al Sharpton was running around being an ambulance chaser.
Again.
With the fucking Jerry curl and the long leather jacket. Yeah, Al Sharpton was a piece of shit.
Who are these people? Where are they coming from? And who raised them? And how did Donald Trump twist their point of view so much in 9 years?
These lefties, they're a hateful bunch, aren't they? And this next lefty is no exception. What a piece of work this mad banshee is, attacking a man's truck because it has a Trump flag on it. She feels entitled to vandalize his property right in front of him.
This is my truck. Get away from my truck. Get away from my truck, you crazy lady. Please. What are you doing right now? Lady, please get away from my vehicle. I have to go to work. I'm going to go get the cops involved. Get away from my vehicle now.
She has a flower on her shirt.
You cut me off.
What gives you the right to
Free, this is America. This is a free country. Get away from my vehicle. Or I'm going to press charges on you. Get away from my vehicle right now and get on the road.
She actually asks, what gives you the right? That's the modern left for you, crazy, angry, and intolerant. Here is another charming lefty showing us again that the Democrats and the left in general are all about love, tolerance, and inclusion, unless you don't share their deranged worldview, in which case they
That part. You don't agree with these motherfuckers, it's over. They're gonna kill you, bro.
behave like literal fascists while calling you a fascist.
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm doing well.
Yeah, you doing good?
Yeah, sir. Thank you very much.
You live in this neighborhood?
Doesn't matter.
Look at him. What's a male carrying?
You shouldn't be in this neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah, you have jaundice or something?
I shouldn't be in the same
It's
room.
like Nazi. Go home.
All right.
You Nazi people.
All right.
Go home.
Stop shaking your hands.
Go home.
Stop.
Yeah, because I want to.
Step
You
back.
don't understand.
Step back.
After that nastiness, I think
Did he tell him suck my?
Stop.
Yeah, because I want to.
Oh yeah, he did.
Nazi people.
All right.
Go home.
Stop shaking your hands.
Go home.
Stop.
Yeah, because I want to.
Step
You
back.
don't understand.
Step back.
after that nastiness, I think we could all do with a Trump-inspired music break.
Back me up, go all in, by Joe Biden. I got a win, save the country from sin. I won't never slack up, Kamala's a clown. So keep jump around, jump around. Keep jump around, jump around.
They mad as fuck.
Jumps up, Kamala's on down. I'm the cream of the crop. I rise when I'm shot. Some started from the bottom, but I've always been on top. Hated me as a dictator, some type of super trader. I think he needs some loving, cause he sounded like a hater. But I ain't.
That shit is hard too. Stop playing.
Keep jump around, jump around. Keep jump around, jump around. Jumps up and Kamala's on down. I'm the cream of the crop. I rise when I'm shot. Some started from the bottom, but I've always been on top. Hated me as a dictator, some type of super trader. I think he needs some loving. He sounded like a hater, but I ain't going down like no punk food. Clean up the house, Joe, moving in back soon.
That was good fun, and this next clip is also great. Listen
Man, oh God.
to this DJ's work and watch out for the angry Karen on the dance floor who's determined to be a misery guts as everyone else around her dances to this banger.
I'm gonna come.
Okay, but realistically, wait, why is there an ad?
Calvin.
And can you believe the Democrat squad of A-list celebrities wasn't enough to get Kamala over the line? How did the American public resist the call from these learned souls who are so in touch with the average American and whose moral compass is pure
Double tap the screen and get the lights up.
and true and who are never prone to crazy delusions?
Thank you, Maria.
Can't be. It cannot be. If he is,
This old pocketbook.
he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll come looking for me. There'll
He
be
ain't lying. He is coming for you, motherfuckers.
things that happen that none of us can imagine. That's what happens in that kind of a dictatorship, which is what he says. Let's believe him, take him at his word.
He ain't come for your old stupid ass when he was the president last time. These people be killing me with all this fear mongering. You let him become the president, you know what I'm saying? The world's gonna end. They have predictions. They have psychics saying that Kamala was gonna win. Disgusting. I hope they go out of business.
Even Bill Maher's lefty audience couldn't help but laugh at Robert De Niro there. And I guess Bill Maher's going to lose his show now, isn't he? That's what they were talking about. And in recent days, we even had the ladies of The View not just backing Kamala, but they were picking her attorney general for her. And of course, they picked the irredeemably
Major fail.
awful rhino warhawk, Liz Cheney.
Are you also a lawyer?
Yeah.
So you could conceivably be a great AG. But this is. And I say this because your moral core is magnificent.
Oh, isn't that adorable? Whoopi Goldberg lecturing us about morals. I've heard it all now. But Kamala had the unique ability to make
Man, I love Rita, man.
even once cool celebrities lose all credibility. She made the boss, Bruce Springsteen, sound like this.
Well, I'm just about starving tonight. I'm dying for some action.
She turned Cardi B into the world's lamest, saddest joke.
Uh-oh.
Hey guys, 1 second.
We would have been doing bad if we would let these people run this fucking country. Oh, God.
Big patience over here. Patience, where are you, girl? I need patience over here.
Just twerking in the back, practicing.
Yikes. I can't believe that didn't convince the masses. And Kamala somehow even managed to turn the once hilariously
She had the dream team and she couldn't get that vote.
Will Ferrell into this cringy mess.
I'm just one person? No. Shut the up, Gary. Last time, only a few thousand votes kept Trump out of office. And this time, we will hold you personally responsible, Gary. Don't forget to vote, Gary.
And when the celebrity endorsements weren't working, she had her media propagandists use these shameful tactics.
We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely,
Man, that's some aggressive coochie right there. I ain't gonna lie. You know, I rate women and you know, how aggressive I think they coochie is. And 9 out of 10 times, see, I'm a good coochie rating professional, right? This right here, this is bad coochie. This is aggressive, negative coochie right here.
far-right dictatorial regime.
And it talks. Double tap the screen. Let's get the up.
Like Hitler's Germany.
What? Oh, let's get back. Let's get back to why they be so ugly. Yeah, I'm just doing that with my camera.
On one side stands for freedom.
What? This is some aggressive coochie right here, man. This some dinosaur coochie right there, man. Just scratch you up. Hey, double tap the screen. Let's get the lights up. You know what I'm saying? This one right here is aggressive.
And while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism.
God forbid you put a baby in that by mistake. No, she ain't got no kids, man. Look at that aggressive look, that gaze in the face, man. That's that Democrat look right there. This one ain't winning. She's got that dead stare in her face, just
Daily.
namely. Just namely.
And while the other meets the textbook definition.
Textbook. You are a textbook cheater, John. Textbook. You understand me?
Election where one side stands for freedom while the other meets
I'm aggressive.
the textbook definition of fascism. Namely,
Of fascism.
far-right dictatorial
I
regime.
will emasculate you as emasculate.
Like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy.
Just crazy stuff. That was MSNBC anchor Joy Reid and her colleague and fellow Russian conspiracy
Yeah, my blood pressure went up looking at that bitch.
folks peddler Rachel Maddow was even issuing threats to Elon Musk's business empire.
The Defense Department and NASA are going to need a new arena.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm a ladies' man. You know what I'm saying? I'll take them big, fat, you know what I'm saying? You know, pretty, you know. But not Democrat. I don't take them that way.
For all their rockets and for all the multi-billion-dollar contracts.
What's up with her hair? Why she look like the Fonz? This bitch look like Fonzarelli, son. Hey, yo. Hey. Andrew Dice Clay in the face ass.
Elon Musk's company.
Arnold Schwarzenegger neck having.
And for all the multi-billion-dollar contracts Elon Musk's companies have with the U.S. government.
Man, Look at that
For
neck.
all the multi-billion dollar
That neck is attached to a fire hydrant.
a new arrangement for all their rockets and for all the multi-billion dollar
I'm
contracts.
gonna roast this chick. Hold on, let me go back a little bit.
Elon Musk's business empire.
The Defense Department and NASA are going to need
Man, she's strong. She'll lift you to the bag.
a new arrangement for all their rockets and for all the
She definitely take creatine.
multi-billion dollar contracts Elon Musk's companies have with the U.S. government.
Ooh, child.
The U.S. government is going to have to either,
I bet she got short legs.
unwind from all of those
That's a strong neck. Eh?
contracts, or Elon Musk's companies are going to have to unwind from him. This is an
That neck come with a bodysuit.
untenable reality in national security terms.
Her neck got its own social security.
Now that we know what we know about Elon Musk.
Her neck got a separate closet.
That sounds a little fascisty to me. Today, Joy.
That's a big ass neck.
Elon Musk.
Oh God.
That sounds a little fascisty to me. Kamala had run the perfect campaign.
And so what you've seen in the last
Oh God. Is that the same ugly joint? Cause I ain't gonna lie, all ugly look alike to me.
couple of weeks, if this is an audition for managing a
And what's that neck? You know what? I understand because I'm a grown man. But you shouldn't be on TV talking no politics, boo-boo. So you take care of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I've never had a woman that had some aggressive stuff here, bro. You know?
complaint
When they start drawing the eyebrows on the top of their face, that's when you know some clown shit going on.
organization like the United States. Kamala Harris has passed the audition flawlessly. This has been, in many ways, a perfect campaign. A brief, and she had
Definitely a carpet muncher.
barely any time to put it together.
But eventually,
Oh, wow, they in the same room. Oh, shit.
reality sank in, and Joy Reid was back to doing what she does best, race baiting and making wild claims, this time about Israel wanting to ethnically cleanse Gaza.
We want Donald Trump to be president more than Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, I'm not all the way in disagreement with that.
Who is backed by a far-right coalition that would like to clear-cut Gaza. That would true.
Lies. My bullshit detectors is going all off. You know what it is? It's them suspicious ass eyebrows.
Really like to complete ethnic cleansing
And look at all these white men over here just acting oblivious.
of Gaza.
Meanwhile, Rachel
Why that aggressive woman acts like she kicking knowledge. Get out of here.
Maddow was lashing out at the American public, chiding them for not realizing just how good the economy is.
The United States economy is the envy of the world.
Man, every time I see her, I think about the farms. Farms are really. Hey.
The inflation numbers, the economic growth numbers, the fiscal.
I know that's not big. Listen, don't act like y'all don't know who Andrew Dice Clay is, man. Hey.
Numbers, the U.S. standing in the world numbers are all off the charts positive. Even the freaking stock market, right? All off the charts positive.
There you have it. You're just imagining all that economic hardship. The share market is up. It's all good. Rachel said so. Now let's hear from a Kamala fan who saw a man in a
Rachel Maddow with the big throat.
MAGA hat and launched into this diatribe. Should be feeling it today.
He's gonna lose.
Trump.
He's gonna lose.
Good.
He's empowering you racist, all right? But you ain't a black gonna be in the office, and his white is gonna be out. We're taking the trash out, loser. All right,
Aggressive. I'm surprised she ain't got a furry steering wheel. And she's definitely listening to Yo Gotti.
power now.
Have a nice day.
You have a wonderful day on the 5th, okay? You're gonna lose.
Why does she got those numbers on the side of her car? That must be a real old car. Check it out. Well, I'll tell you this, man. You get what you put out there. When you put this sort of energy out, and then a cop drags you out and shoots you in your ass 10 times, don't put a GoFundMe out and show your high school picture.
Okay.
And your leader, your cult leader.
Bye-bye.
And this next Kamala fan also has learned an important
Them the same ones that a hawk spit on you. Trust me.
lesson today. Don't get overconfident when you sit in a leftist echo chamber, because when reality hits, it's going to hurt.
I mean, not to be, popular
I'm optimistic.
Man, she looked like the Fonz too. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up, man. Yeah, you're on the Mac Mean TSTV show. You know, I was browsing some videos. I said, you know, I got a little bit of time. Let me share with my audience, with my life. Like, what's your life? Let's get the likes up. Come on. Double tap screen. We'll go to the top right. Hit the three dots. All right. Salute DFW shots. Just pull up.
Donald Trump's extraordinary win. The red wave has cometh, and the lefties are, well, they're giving me too much content.
I'm sorry. No, no, no.
Yo, this Miss Rita is a nuisance. Hey, yo.
Lefties are, well, they're giving me too much content.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I love Rita, man. It's your business if I'm just doing too much.
Lefties are, well, they're giving me too much content.
That's why I gotta cut that. I need that.
I'm sorry. No.